It's time now for Entre Nous, and back to one of our top stories, the papal conclave. And as cardinals gather in the Vatican, the regalia of the Roman Catholic Church is currently on display at the Vatican. For more on papal fashion and its symbolism, Solange Moujon joins me now in the studio. Solange, what are the basic things we need to know about church fashion?
Well, first and foremost, it is not basic at all. It is complex and steeped in tradition and symbolism. There is a specific lingo, a go-to tailors, out-of-fashion traditions, strict rules, and also personal touches where a clergyman can put his own stamp on these uniforms. Simply looking at the garb of a clergyman or a nun can tell someone the religious order they're from, what level in the church's hierarchy they're at. Some can even tell a clergyman's theological leanings, if they're progressive or conservative, by the little details that they wear, kind of like for non-clergymen. Going into all of those differences, plus how ecclesial fashion has changed over the years and the centuries, is a near impossible task. So I thought I'd break down a few of the basics, like why does the Pope wear white and cardinals red, and how the next Pope will automatically position himself in these sartorial codes. Will he be more like Pope Francis or Pope Benedict XVI, both of whom had very different styles of clothing? And also how social media is shifting things in what remains for many, and not all, sometimes superficial, but really actually many faithful believe that this is a sacred dress code. So, first, the colors. Why is there so much red and white? Well, actually, red is traditionally the papal color, symbolizing the blood of Christ and his suffering. And the first mentions of the Pope's clothing come from Dante's Inferno, where the Pope wore a red mantle or a cope. I'll get more into the terms in just a second. White actually became popular for the Pope in the 13th century, but the color is often associated with Pope Pius V. In the 16th century, he was a Dominican, and their religious order wears white. Nonetheless, today it is the standard color associated with the Pope, as it represents innocence and charity. Now for some fashion terms. The Catholic clergy, be it the Pope or a simple priest, often wear a cassock. This is a full-length coat-like dress. It's a robe. It's often made of wool. For some special ceremonies, there are often 33 buttons down them. You see them there, with each button representing a year of the life of Christ. Cardinals, on special occasions, often cover the cassock with a rochet or a white garment with a lace border. Then there's the mozzetta, or a short cape. And on top of that, there's, of course, the pectoral crosses that they choose to wear with different ornaments on them or not. And it is the simplicity or the jewels that you can tell a lot about the personality of its wearer. As well, the strings, they change, and their colors change, as do the gems at times, depending on rank. Otherwise, there's often a fascia or a fringe sash worn around the waist that often shows rank: black for priests, fuchsia for bishops, red for cardinals. In regard to the headgear, there is the zucchetto, or the silk skull cap. It too comes in different colors, followed by the biretta, or a rigid square-sided cap. For the tailors that make these bespoke garments, dressing the clergy and the Pope is an honor, although allegedly, this time around, the Vatican did not order a trousseau prior to the conclave. We do not know why, but Italian media is speculating that the Vatican already has some on hand and that they're trying to push Pope Francis's message of economic and environmental sustainability.
Usually, for the conclave, we provided a white cassock,
una sottana bianca,
a red mozzetta worn over the shoulders, which Pope Francis never wanted to wear,
che però Papa Francesco non ha mai voluto portare,
the sash worn around the waist, and then the zucchetto worn on the head.
portato in testa.
These are the essential items.
And then, of course, there are the shoes. Oliver, you can definitely tell a lot about a pope with his shoes.
And shoes were often referenced when it came to differences between Pope Benedict XVI and Pope Francis.
Yeah, Pope Benedict XVI created a reputation for himself as being a very fashionable pope, in part because of his shoes. He was seen sporting red leather slip-ons on different occasions. Now, he was not the first pope to wear red leather pumps. Rather, many of Pope Benedict's fashion choices, they actually were steeped in tradition. be it gem-encrusted crosses or his velvet and ermine camoro, which created quite a lot of buzz because it actually kind of looks like a Santa's hat. Nonetheless, such choices mirrored many of his more conservative stances, and that is in contrast with Pope Francis, who had a much more basic and toned-down fashion sense, which was in actually line with his theological vision and his causes for greater social justice. Pope Francis often preferred unfussy white cassocks and simple black leather shoes, and not white ones. He was even buried in somewhat scuffed up and worn ones, which was widely seen as a part of his message of trying to convey of his vision for the future of the Church.
Who is it who dresses the Pope?
Well, actually, there is no one official tailor. The Vatican can call on the services of anyone it likes. And in this sense, it is very much a business transaction. It is the Vatican buying the services of someone. Pope Francis, for example, used the services of a young gay designer, Filippo Sorcinelli, for some of his robes. However, beyond that, there are a few tailors in Rome that traditionally outfit the clergy. One, Gamarelli, has been making clothes for the faithful, from choir boys to popes, since 1798. Another tailor, Ranieri Massinelli, he opened his shop in the 1960s. He has dressed multiple popes, and he said he's made 3 outfits in small, medium, and large, just in case the Vatican calls.
It's a mystery. No one knows who the next pope will be. Let's hope it's a friend of mine, a cardinal I've already served. I have a relationship with several cardinals. I've made red cassocks, and I hope to make some white ones too.
And one of the first things you notice around the Vatican is the number of drapers selling clerical garb. Finally, Solange, the Vatican is well aware of the messages that the clergy's regalia can impart. And that goes for social media too.
Yeah, we all remember the fake artificial intelligence images of Pope Francis in a puffer coat and all the buzz that made. He did not wear a coat like that. But it created some discussion of him being seen as an everyman, or at least it played with people's imaginations. It also caused offense, much in the same line as Donald Trump's recent AI images of himself, portraying himself as the Pope. But those AI images aside, I mention them because it is a fine and complex line between the Church needing to conform sartorially to the modern world, to speak to its 1.4 billion followers, but at the same time, there's also this desire to transcend the everyday, to evoke history and the sacred. And the clothing of the future Pope will be closely watched from head to toe as a visual manifestation of who he is and what he wants the Church to be in the future.
Well, as the French say, the habit fits the monk, so to speak.